screw the number of followers you have or want to get. If you want to get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, just to have the numbers, fine, go for it. This video is not for you. But if you want to get followers that actually mean something to you and your business or your service or whatever it is that you do, this video is for you. But this video is about the long haul, the organic growth of your following list. And what that means is your list will not be huge, but it will be huge in terms of people who care about you, who listen to what you have to say, and who will act on the things that you say. And those people you can sell to over and over again. It can be applied to, of course, advertising, to traditional advertising. All of this can be cross-platformed, if you want to call it that, very easily. With traditional advertising, let's talk about radio, mass media. Would you rather have an advertisement that talks to 90% of the population, but only moves somebody to do something 10% of the way? No, probably not. Or would you rather talk to 10% of the population and move them 90 to 100% of the way? Absolutely. Same thing can be applied to your following list. Don't worry about the numbers. The numbers mean something, but for the most part, what does it mean to your business? So what is one of the most effective ways to grow your following list? That's kind of a tricky question to answer. There are some basic guidelines that you should probably consider as you're doing this, as you're growing your organic list. But again, don't worry about the numbers. But instead, when you are on Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, share what others have written or done or commented about or quotes or whatever it may be. Share at least three times of somebody else's stuff, then you talk about yourself, your business or whatnot. By doing that, you're showing to your followers, your current and future followers, that hey, you care about other people and that you want to share this information. And that maybe if they start writing, they can do the same thing. But you're not just wah about your own stuff. You find this information intriguing, so why not share it? People love that kind of thing. People do love community. Even if you consider them introverts, they still need a community. You are that home-based community, so share with them what you have and find interesting. Now, beyond that, when you do start talking about yourself, and you should, absolutely, you should talk about your blog posts, let's say. Talk about a new service that you might be offering. But only do it, again, share more other stuff 3 times more than you talk about yourself. Talk about your business. That's perfectly fine. Sell. You can sell your stuff. Absolutely do it. But also at the same time, interject your personal life. Just little tidbits. Not the things that you really do want to keep personal, because there are certainly some things that you might want to do that. But overall, if there's something that, say, your kid did, or a friend of yours did, or your family, somebody in your family just did something funny, or you did something funny, like, for instance, I forgot to turn on this mic at the very beginning of this, and I started to go on. You know what? Share that kind of little humility. Show some humility, and people are drawn to that, and they do appreciate it. So talk about yourself every now and then. It's about relationships. Growing your base is about growing relationships. One-on-one communication with friends, essentially. Use that, and it will grow organically. People will catch on. Now, let's talk a little bit more about your business and sharing blog posts or commentary or whatnot. Do it, but you better damn make sure that your content you're sharing is really good, really top-notch. Everybody else is doing the same thing, believe it or not. Nothing new is under the sun. Write about what you want to write about, put your own twist on it. Make it really good, make it really compelling. And people will definitely start following you, and people will definitely start going to your blog post or whatever it may be, which is hopefully set up properly to start converting people, to start selling to people. If you don't know anything about that, email me and let me know. Email address is paul@paulboomer.com. Anyway, going back, so talk about your business. That's perfectly fine. Interject a little bit about your personal life. That's great. Share at least 3 times more of other people's work with your followers by retweeting. Perfect stuff. Now, moving on to a little bit more prospecting and getting your name out there in terms of just getting your name out there. Hashtags are a great way to do that. Let's say you are somebody in the marketing industry or on-hold messaging industry. And there's already people talking about this stuff out there. and they use hashtags. Hashtags kind of create that community marketing. So it'd be #hashtag, or I'm sorry, # and marketing. So they tweet and they put that little symbol at the end, and that kind of says, hey, I'm talking about marketing. The great thing about hashtags is other people, other like-minded people, are monitoring that hashtag. So it's a community of people. So when you talk about yourself or your business or whatnot, and you put hashtag marketing, the whole community that is in there, in the marketing community, all of a sudden also sees your tweet. They may not have known you previously, but you've just interjected yourself into the community. Completely free, completely cool, and by all means do it. So that's another way of getting your name out there, is using hashtags for certain communities. Now, for instance, for me, one that I use is CRO, which stands for Conversion Rate Optimization. So if I tweet something about websites and conversion rates, I would add hashtag CRO. A whole group of people would all of a sudden receive my tweet or see my tweet and tag me, hey, he must be talking about CRO. That must be somebody in that industry. That's how easy it really is. Now, if you want to start really prospecting, and this gets down to a little more advanced technology or use of Twitter, but very, very powerful. Go to search.twitter.com, and in that search bar, type in something like looking for marketing help, or looking for on-hold messaging, or do you recommend anybody for marketing? Various combinations of what you and your friend would be having or having a conversation with. I'm looking for, can you help me find whatnot? And put your term or your term in that in. So something like looking for marketing help. Do a search on that. Now you may not immediately, it may not come up with something immediately. That's all right. Instead, what you can do is you can essentially save that search, and it will always operate. You can be asleep and it will be kind of searching for that kind of stuff. In the upper right hand corner, I believe, there is an RSS feed. Take that feed and put it into Google Reader or some other RSS feeder, or reader, I'm sorry, and you have a saved search. And anytime you go there, you look it up in your RSS reader, you'll find a few in there. Now the trick is, how do you start that conversation? Let's say somebody says, hey, I am looking for an on-hold message guy. Before you respond, before you tweet to that person, do direct message, whatever, think about how would you start that conversation up in real life. What I mean by real life is, of course, in person to person. Let's say you're sitting in your doctor's office waiting room, and the person next to you across the way is having a conversation with their friend, saying, hey, yeah, I'm looking for somebody to help me out with marketing or on-hold messaging. Have anybody? What would you do? Would you just stand up and start giving a spiel? Probably not. The best way to go about it is probably to say, hey, I understand you're looking for some marketing help. I do that. Would you like to know more? Ask that question. Ask the permission first, and then start that conversation. If they don't respond, don't worry about it. Move on. There are plenty of others out there. So don't worry so much about getting 2,000-3,000 people on your following list. This video is not for you. If you're looking for 100, 200 people or more, just a number of people who follow you, who want to follow you, who will act on the things that you want them to act on, retweet whatever it may be. These are some simple basic guidelines that you want to think of each time you tweet out to your followers, your tribe. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to help any way I can. Thanks. Hope this video is helpful.